Good morning, Cadre. Barber Dave here at Dave's Barber Shop at Home. Welcome to day 4 of the Titan Turd Challenge. This one I'm going to try to be not as biased because, as all of you know, Penhaligon's English Fern is my favorite fragrance. And even if the shave goes terribly, the fragrance and the talc and everything else should make up for it, but we'll see. I did switch up one thing. I am going to be using my 15 Aristocrat today since it's an all British shave. We will be using, for the final day, the Paladin PK47 in Jade, and it's got a Select Badger fan knot, and I'm really a big fan of fan knots. Once again, we'll be using the non-tallow version of the Penhaligon's English Fern soap, which you no longer can buy. In fact, you can't really buy any of the English Fern stuff except on the secondary market. We will be using some talc, and we're going to go into that with some comments that were made by Nurse Dave yesterday, which were hilarious. And then almost at the end of this bottle, but I do have another bottle in stock of the English Fern EDT. And then for the aftershave, we are going to be using the Nivea 2-in-1, and I will shake it up better for Dave, but I'm not, wait for it. So that's it. Hopefully everybody's doing well today, getting ready for the weekend. There's been some questions on a hashtag that is floating around the forum right now, and it's hashtag bourbon and pole. Well, join us on Wednesday night for the Zoom call and look for that thread and find out. So the soap is typical British hard puck like we've seen all week. Very foamy to start off with. However, with this one, I have a tendency to start out with a much drier brush, and I found that that works a little bit better, and then loading like, you know, you stole it to see if it works a little bit better. Sad to have to include this in the 4 worst soaps in my den, but unfortunately it's true. Now the tallow version of this ranks in one of the top, so, but that one's been on Obtadium for a while. You can still find it, but it's very expensive, so I don't use that very often. So I'll use up the non-tallow version first and suffer through it. But I will say already, because I know this soap, that it does have enough slickness to warrant using my 15, which is a little bit more aggressive, but still. This again has a tendency to dissipate, like all the others do. But is a little bit better face feel. But the water ratio has to be just about perfect, or it'll break. And I probably break this soap more often than not. But as you can see, you can get a little bit better lather out of this. The problem is, once again, you kind of have to speed shave before it gets too thin. We'll see how it goes. Not too bad. Still not as slick. So you do need to be careful of your technique. but I can already feel it starting to dry out a little bit. But so far, and frankly, I'm not overly surprised. This so far working pretty much the best. But still a little bit drying on the face. You can feel the tightness. Residual slickness, oh, probably on par with the Crabtree and Evelyn. But the performance, in-shape performance, is a little bit better. Still a bit foamy, but a little bit better cushion once you really get into it. So you almost have to let this dry out a little bit to get usable lather. Still probably would not use a single edge, whether that be an SE or a straight razor. So not too bad. Had some exciting mail calls yesterday that I'll be using Sunday. I refilled my stores of Saponificio Veracina 70th, but I did notice that the bottle for the aftershave is a little bit different, not much, but what I noticed the most is the consistency of the aftershave. It's more liquidy than the original version. Again, this soap dries out pretty quick. It leaves the face feeling a little tacky. But a little bit better. I would say it's somewhat edging out Crabtree and Evelyn right now. So Nurse Dave decided to try the talc regiment, which I thought was cool. And to answer his questions, Nurse Dave, yes, and I like to consider it not a mess in the shave down or the bathroom. I consider it a decorative accoutrement when it comes to the talc, because if you clean it every day, which I do not do, you will not have a problem. But over time, if you let it stick, which I don't do that either, I usually try to do it every other day, you get a thin veil of talc over every single surface. But I like to consider it a taste of winter and a snow. But no, you will get a little bit of talc, but if you apply it right, it won't. And there is a method to my madness, as Dave jokingly showed how I contort my face. So I would say with English Fern, the best way to use this soap, if you can get it, is a little on the drier side. The benefit is you'll get the soap to stay, but there's some trade-offs. Obviously, the trade-offs are the cushion, which in this case there's not a whole heck of a lot of anyways, and the glide. I mean, you can't, your technique has to be pretty much spot on as far as smoothness and no jumpiness or even a DE. Will chatter on your skin. And the problem is if you add more water, it breaks the soap and then you're kind of to square one. But all in all, I have to say at this point, and I'm going to redo or look at the final numbers, I think that this will probably be the best of the worst. Now that's not saying much because the other Penhaligon soaps lather just fine. Like I said, residual slickness, terrible, but it did leave a little bit of extra lather. But the lather that's in the brush is not really usable. And this aristocrat is pretty aggressive, so to be able to use that and not totally destroy your face is not bad. So now Dave did mention that when I used the Nivea 2-in-1 that I shook it violently. So I'm going to do what he did and just a couple of shakes and pow! It's too early in the morning for that. Now, I did use only about 4 drops yesterday, so I'll only use 4 to 6 today. Okay, there's 5. And this is wonderful stuff. I mean, it's really good. I am very impressed with it. Again, I put it on the same level as Spike. And even the Ethos Skin Complex. It just has, the only thing is with me, I've got to be real careful because I do feel that it could be a little bit greasy for me with the aloe, but not too bad. Also, one of my mail calls yesterday was SV's new Desert Vetiver, and it is strong, much stronger than any of the other SV offerings in past. So I'll be reviewing that, or at least the initial review on Sunday. Okay, to the talc. Dave, this is for you. Take brush. Make sure that you open the can, because I noticed you were getting little spurts out, because it opens in both directions. And as far as the scent is concerned, yes, it's pure English fern. However, it dissipates very quickly, so don't worry about having to match it with something, because you don't. Then instead of shaking it, take your palm, and that way it'll go into the brush itself. Now, yes, the facial contortions are important. As Dave pointed out, the facial contortions, and why I do that is because I want to get the powder in every nook and cranny. Plus, in the morning, it is face aerobics. Stretching and squinting keeps your face looking young. And yes, Dave, I know that you don't shave your forehead, but your forehead also has what in it? Say it. Sebaceous glands. And those excrete oil. And actually, the oil that it excretes in your forehead is more. So, if you get the powder everywhere, including on your ears and your neck and behind your neck and everything else, then as the day goes on, you don't have oil waterfall. And it just gives you a better overall gentlemanly feeling. And then just kind of rub it a little bit. And you can use as much as you want, but it dissipates real quick. So, there you go, Nurse Dave. Your talc of the day training program. English Fern. And like I said, it's on its last legs, but we have more, which is good. Oh, God, that stuff is fantastic. Okay, Cadre, that's it. Now, we will be doing one more supplemental shave tomorrow. And what that shave will do is see whether or not these turds of the Titan turds of the barbershop are, or can they compare with Dawn dishwashing liquid? Yes, you heard that right, folks. I will be doing a shave with Dawn dishwashing liquid, which should be a whole new experience. So that's it. And we will see you soon on the Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. We appreciate you being members each and every day. And we thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.